What's up everyone, Richard here, and welcome. In this video, I'll be going over the weapon rebalance that occurred on the first day of Crimefest 2015. This patch included some very drastic changes to how weapons perform, including a massive overhaul to damage, stability, and accuracy. So let's first discuss the two stats that have changed the most with this update, stability and accuracy, both of which are now based on a 100-point system rather than a 25 and 20-point system. While the increase in number range has made it possible for subtler changes to weapon handling, it has confused players used to the old system. However, there is a quick way to convert these numbers so they can be used in the old formulas. Accuracy has been increased essentially by a multiple of 5, meaning that if you divide the new accuracy numbers by 5, you will get the equivalent of its old base accuracy stat. For example, we have an M308 with 90 accuracy, divided by 5 will give us 18 accuracy in the old system. Regardless of if we use the new or old formula, the result will still be the same. Our M308 will have a base spread of 0.2 degrees. However, another change to the accuracy system has occurred as well. Stance now plays a much bigger role. Crouching will now also dramatically improve accuracy compared to before across nearly all weapons. It is now simplified too, meaning that almost every weapon shares the same stance multipliers. If not, they use an alternative table. On screen now is the actual breakdown of stance multipliers. These are applied after base accuracy is calculated. So, if we are standing with our M308 and aiming down sights, we would multiply our spread by 1.2. So, 0.2 times 1.2, bringing our spread to 0.24 degrees. With this system, you can theoretically achieve 0 deviation in firing with an accuracy rating of 100, something that was not possible with the previous system. Do note, however, that weapons will receive a slight penalty even with stationary and aiming down sights. Converting stability is thankfully a much simpler matter. Take your new stability value, let's say 80 for our M308, and divide it by 4, bringing it to 20 in the old system. Since the old formula was still a bit convoluted, the new one is probably better to use. On screen is the new formula for calculating the base recoil multiplier. So for our weapon with 80 stability, we would end up with a base recoil multiplier of 1, meaning it will use the default recoil profile instead of an augmented one. As far as I can tell, the table still remains the same for base weapon recoil, most weapons sharing a slight upward pull with even side-to-side recoil. Only the LMGs have this altered with a much more consistent upward pull, however a much more aggressive pull to the right. For those of you interested in the full weapon table, please check out the description for a link to the long guide where all this information was pulled from. Finally, we arrive at damage, something that has really shaped the utility of weapons throughout Payday 2's history. It seems that Overkill has finally realized that weapons with less than 40 damage were largely ignored, and with the update, most weapons will be able to easily deal 40 damage or even much higher. They've also made a dramatic change to how barrel extensions affect weapons. Now instead of affecting damage and handling, they will now largely affect accuracy and stability only. Damage will still slightly be affected, but only by a few points. Gone are the days when a fire breather will increase your damage by 10 points. Many assault rifles and pistols are now capable of reaching well over 80 damage, letting them kill maximum force responders or TANs with a single headshot. Weapons like the AMR-16 and the AK-762, now very powerful weapons that differentiate themselves from the rest of the assault rifle pack. The M308 in particular has been massively buffed, increasing its damage and ammo capacity, making it a very effective weapon indeed. Shotguns did receive some nerfing, more specifically the semi-automatic shotguns will deal substantially less damage. For example, the Stakeout previously dealt around 60 damage, now it only deals 23. While many did complain that the old Stakeout was a little on the overpowered side, it now seems to be less than useless. However, other shotguns' damage didn't seem to scale with the new update, making them seem a bit anemic. The damage update does rustle my jimmies a little bit on the realism side. Seeing a 40 caliber pistol deal more damage than a 12 gauge shotgun shell at close range does seem just a little bullshit. However, if they do fix the shotguns along with some of the assault rifles and SMGs that seem to be nerfed a bit too hard with this update, I think that this will overall be a great addition to the game, providing some flavor to the weapons that all seem to mix together before in the same homogeneous 40 damage, 18 accuracy, 25 stability category. I've seen many people now rejoice that the Car 4 is no longer the king of the castle, and now we can finally usher in the reign of the M308, which I will be discussing in a whole separate video. But now we can actually use some of the other guns on Death Wish, like the Eagle Heavy Rifle or the Gewehr 3, making games much more unique rather than playing matches with the same Car 4 locomotive builds. That pretty much sums up everything that changed in the Rebalance update. If you guys felt I missed anything, please leave it in the comments so we can all benefit from the information. On a side note, I won't be talking about the microtransaction thing, as I'm not one to get riled up about this kind of stuff, and there are plenty of other well thought out videos by other YouTubers. I would suggest checking out James Black 47's channel, as he released a fairly comprehensive video on the subject, and I really enjoyed hearing what he had to say about it. Thank you guys very much for watching, and until next time, farewell.